Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Robert Simmons. What's up, OG man? Bubba Chevy. What's up, Bubba Chevy? Is that Trizu, and hold on, Trizon Davis. See, y'all need to, it'd be helpful if, like, when in your handles, if you separated each word, because it's hard to read some of this stuff. Let's see, we got Joanne Lanier. What's up, Joanne Lanier? Anthony McKinney. What it do? What it do, TT? What's up? What's up? Jessica Olson. Miss Punky. What up? Connie Upson. It's Connie Upson. Connie Hodge. What's up, Connie? Got two Connies in here back to back. Let's see. What was that? Is that how do you pronounce that name there? Renori Johnson? Did I get that right? Renori Johnson? Cuda Swift. What's up? U Texas. Jimmy Davis. Michelle Hayes. What's up, Chi-Town? Chi-Town in here back to back. Bro, Derek Berry. Or is that Broderick? Broderick Berry. That's what I'm going with. Broderick Berry. You spell Broderick a couple of ways there. Okay, going in, fam. I'll come back to the comments. Going in. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about in this crazy, wild, crazy, beautiful world, fam. Hey, we got an ex-NFL quarterback by the name of Tavon Boykins, who went to Russell Wilson's and Sierra's house, ate all their food, drunk all their drink, sucked up the energy, and went back and told the internet all their business. Yeah, man. Oh, we got to get into that because there are others out there just like them, and y'all need to watch out for them, especially during this holiday season. We're going to get into that real heavy. Beauty influencer Stephanie Piper has been found dead. We're going to talk about that. RIP to her, and condolences to her family and friends and fans. Real sad case, fam. Sad case. And then we have Pfizer. Pfizer is being put on blast for being in business for 176 years and have not cured a single disease. But first, let's talk about this guy. This guy right here is incredible. Donald Trump, your president. That guy. Family, Donald Trump has decided that he is going to grant a full and unconditional pardon to one of the biggest drug dealers that ever existed. This after he's been he declared war against drug dealers, and he was bombing them at his instructions. The military was knocking boats out of the water, totally destroying life and property. Yeah, just killing people left and right, saying, hey, man, we're going to stop this. They're bringing drugs into our country. And then he lets one of the biggest drug dealers in history off the hook. Yeah, fam. Let's get into it. This is an article I found on CNN. Trump says he will pardon former Honduran president serving sentence in drug trafficking case. Before I even get into this, imagine if you were in a foreign country and you heard such and such says he will pardon former U.S. president serving sentence in drug trafficking case. Only in the U.S. do foreign dignitaries get arrested. Yeah, you can go and arrest a president from a foreign country and put him in jail in your country. Only in the U.S. is this possible. But U.S. presidents, no matter what they do, no matter what type of crime they're accused of committing, they're never brought to justice. Never. They never serve one day in prison. Never. They don't even go to jail. President Donald Trump said Friday he intends to grant a full and complete pardon to former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, a move that would erase a major U.S. drug trafficking conviction for a one-time U.S. ally who is currently serving a 45-year federal prison sentence. Remember, fam, I tell y'all all the time, all of America's enemies were once their friend. So anybody out there who considers America a friend, watch your back. That's including the citizens of the United States of America. I will be granting a full and complete pardon to former President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who has been, according to many people that I greatly respect, treated very harshly and unfairly, Trump announced on his Truth Social platform. This cannot be allowed to happen, especially now after Tito Asfura wins the election, when Honduras will be on its way to great political and financial success. Vote for Tito Asfura for president, and congratulations to Juan Orlando Hernandez on your upcoming pardon. President of Honduras from 2014 until 2022. Hernandez was sentenced last year and given an $8 million fine by a U.S. judge for drug trafficking offenses. So what did he do in particular? What is he accused of? Well, prosecutors had accused Hernandez of conspiring with drug cartels during his tenure as they moved more than 400 tons of cocaine through Honduras toward the United States. 400 tons of cocaine through Honduras towards the United States. In exchange, prosecutors said Hernandez received millions of dollars in bribes that he used to fuel his rise in Honduran politics. During his years in office, the Justice Department said Hernandez protected and enriched the drug traffickers in his inner circle. Don't everybody do that? If they get a little money, they enrich the people in their circle. Well, most people do. Anyway, prosecutors cited his use of executive power to support extraditions to the U.S. of certain drug traffickers who threatened his grip on power while promising drug traffickers who paid him and followed his instructions that they would remain in Honduras. The president's announcement comes as his administration has focused in recent months on what it has said is a counter-drug operation in the Caribbean, with U.S. military activity ramping up there. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's regime has been responding to the increase with its own show of force in the region. The prosecution of Hernandez mirrored the U.S. government's allegations against Maduro. Hernandez was accused and convicted of aiding drug trafficking cartels that are responsible for bringing deadly drugs to the U.S. By contrast, U.S. drug enforcement authorities say that many of the drug trafficking routes the Maduro regime enabled are aimed at European illicit markets. So, Trump shows this great display of military force to kill drug traffickers at sea. Y'all saw, blowing up boats left and right, just obliterating them, right? Because he wants to stop drugs from coming into the good old US of A. One of the greatest ways to stop drugs from coming into the good old US of A is? You know what one of the greatest ways? Reduce the desire for drugs. America has a healthy appetite for drugs. Americans love drugs. Yeah, Americans love drugs. And Americans are going to use drugs. And nobody's going to stop Americans from using drugs. Americans love drugs. They love narcotics. You can't do anything about it. So there was never a war on drugs, and there never will be a war on drugs. Now, there could be a war on thugs. There could be a war on us, but there's never been a war on drugs. Get that through your thick head. There's never been a war on drugs. There's been a war on us, right? There's been a war on people who take the drugs and, sell the drugs who didn't get permission to sell the drugs. You got to get permission to sell the drugs. You can't just be selling them drugs by yourself. You got to go through the proper channels. You got to go ask for permission. Mr. President, was wondering if I could bring a boat over here about once a week. Wow, shit, what's in it for me? Glad you asked. Take a look at this Caribbean property. Mansion comes complete with servants and prostitutes. What do you think, Mr. President? It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Family, this is all cap. This is all cap. He out here blowing up boats, talking about they are smuggling drugs. Make it make sense, fam. Make it make sense. I would say oil is the main objective for Venezuela. I would say oil. Yeah. See? Yeah. So the president of the United States is going to pardon a former president of another country. We really need ethical and wise, respected leadership and a judiciary. I mean, like right now, the U.S. name is shot. It's shot. It's trash. I mean, the hypocrisy. They don't even try to lie to us and make it sound fly to us. They don't even do well, they do lie to us and try to make it sound fly to us, but it's just so obvious that it's lies. I mean, at least try to be creative with the lie, you know? So let me get this straight. So Trump, at the behest of Trump, the military performs airstrikes on boats allegedly on their way to America from Venezuela because Donald Trump is serious about stopping drugs from coming into our country. He has to get rid of these drugs. And these guys deserve everything they get. Blow them up, blow them out of the water, kill them all. Don't even think about it. Kill them. And now you have an opportunity where you have a foreign president who's accused of trafficking tons of drugs to the U.S. They already got him captive. He's already in prison. They already got him. Tried, convicted, done. Got him in jail, locked up. 45 years. Safely put away. Corrupt and tore up from the floor up. He's just nothing. He's no good. Got him. 45 years securely settled in a U.S. prison. And with the stroke of a pen, Donnie says, you're free to go. What do you think he's going to do once he gets out? You think he's going to be a model citizen? Or do you think that he just might reconnect with the criminal element and get back to work, roll his sleeves up and get back to work? I mean, I don't know what he do. I mean, maybe he's a changed man. I don't know. But maybe, according to Trump, maybe he didn't do any of this stuff that he was accused of. He didn't do anything. And we just got it all wrong. This guy was targeted, and he was targeted by enemies, and he was just done wrong. And so he should never be in prison in the first place. Therefore, he's being granted a pardon. Yeah. There's an old saying called birds of a feather flock together. I'm not saying that this is connected to what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying it just came in my head out of nowhere. I don't know where, I don't know why I said it. I just said it, just came in my head. It just popped up. Yeah. Yeah. So if dude had been on one of those boats that Trump blew up, Trump would have killed him too. The military would have killed him too, right? So he wouldn't even be here. I'm just trying to make this thing. I'm going to make this make sense, y'all. I'm going to make this make sense, okay? So the president would use his executive power to pardon the Venezuela president if he were jailed later on, you think? If, like, say, for instance, do you think he would do that? Like, if the Venezuelan president was jailed, that Trump would use his executive power to pardon him as well? I don't think he'll do it because, Trump is America first. This is our president, and he makes good, wise decisions. And I just don't believe that he'll sell us out. Donald Trump is tough on crime, man. He's tough on crime. He don't play no games about crime. And he leads by example. This is important. This is what y'all need to understand. So I don't understand, all of these attacks. This is it's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. The Russians really have Trump feet to the fire. Yeah, they got his feet to the fire. I wonder what exactly do they have on Trump. I would be very interested to know what exactly do Russia in particular have on Trump? Because this is not really unbelievable, but it would have been unfathomable, just maybe 20 years ago. This would have been unfathomable. He put them all the way through the system, and he give him 45. Who else? Isn't you got some other drug dealers from other countries, big drug dealers who've been locked, who was locked up. I wonder, is he gonna let them go too? These dudes killers too, man. They kill, man. They don't just sell drugs, They don't just kill with drugs. They kill with bullets and guns. So I wonder, is he gonna let them go too? Because maybe, okay, I got it. I think I got it. Maybe he's gonna let them go so they can get out there and do God's work. Go and tell it on the mountain. Change people's attitudes. Tell the other drug dealers out there to put them drugs down and pick up the Bible. Put your drugs down and pick up an application. Get a real job, something that your family can be proud of. Maybe that's the plan. Yeah. Send them out there and they do the work, do God's work, and we have a clean country. But then that ain't gonna work either, because we still got the pharmacists who are distributing drugs every day. They say more people die from prescription medicine than people who die from illicit street drugs. Did you know that? They say more people die from scripts, from getting medicine prescribed to them by pharmacists, than people die from illicit drugs. Yeah. That's interesting. Very interesting. You think there would be some type of major come down on the pharmacists, where they run up in there and start arresting the pharmacists at Walgreens and what they call that thing, something right, RITE is something, what's the name of that pharmacist called? Something right. And then you have the CVS's. I wonder where we see that. I think we'll see it one day. I think they'll go in there with the guns, because they're gonna do right by the American people. They're gonna go in there and they're gonna make them all get on the floor in the white coats and say, and you go into jail for over prescribing medicines and giving people stuff that they didn't really need. You're going to jail. It could happen. I believe that it'll happen. I think it'll really happen one day. Yeah. Wow. I had to talk about this, fam, because this one, I'm not surprised that Trump would do something like this, but I am a little surprised that it happened while he's saying that he's getting rid of the drug dealers. Like, he's killing drug dealers, and then he's letting one of the biggest drug dealers off simultaneously. Like, this guy, the former Honduran president, this guy, let me see if I can put a picture up. That's him right there. This guy, Hernandez, he's responsible. He's accused of plotting and planning to push more drugs to the United States than all the people combined that Trump has killed so far in international waters. That so far, those boats that we've seen blow up in those international waters, they don't even account to a fraction of the drugs. They don't count for a fraction of the drugs that this guy is responsible for, or at least allegedly is responsible for, coming into the US. But he lets this guy go. This guy is already in the system, and you take him out of the system and let him. Where is he going? Is he going back to Honduras? Huh. Interesting. I just find that very interesting. Interesting. Something else I find interesting, fam, is when you allow someone to come into your home and they betray you. When you welcome someone into your home, you show them love, you treat them like family, and they stab you in the back. Such is the case of ex-NFL quarterback Trevon Boykin, who went to Russell Wilson and Sierra's home and then doubled back and hopped on a podcast to say that it was a weird experience because none of his family was around. Yeah, he said none of his family was around. Check it out. Hold on. Let me sound check first. Make sure y'all heard that. Did y'all hear any of what I just played? Did y'all hear any of what I just played? Give me a thumbs up if you heard me. Where are we? Yeah. Did y'all hear any? Give me a thumbs up if you heard any of what I just played. No. Okay, so I'm not going to even worry about playing the audio, but I will say this. This guy right here. This guy. This is Trevon Boykin. He's a former NFL quarterback. This guy was invited to Russell Wilson and Sierra's home for Thanksgiving. He shows up, he eats their food, he drinks their drink, he enjoys the environment. I'm sure he watched a little television, got a little entertainment out of it. And then he turned around and went on a podcast and called the experience weird because none of Russell's family was around. He also talked about Little Future, saying Little Future was bad, it's a little badass Little Future. And he talked about the experience where, people take turns around the table saying what they're thankful for. And he never did say what Little Future said he was thankful for, but he described Little Future as being a spoiled brat, one who was acutely aware of the nepotism that he have and his lineage, being born into a family of celebrities, been born by celebrity parents, and then also now having a stepfather who is a celebrity, right? So he jumped on the podcast and was talking about how weird it was. He was saying that Russell's mother wasn't there, his sisters wasn't there, his sister wasn't there. And, he figured that anyone with money like Russell Wilson would fly his whole family in. He's like, yeah, I'm from the hood, I'm from the streets or whatever. He said the ghetto, and we fly home. Whoever got the money, fly the whole family in, and whoop whoop, and all this kind of stuff. And I just thought that was really moist. I thought that was really moist of him, because When you allow somebody into your home, that's your private space. That is your private space. And anytime somebody welcome you into their home, you should be thankful. And you should also protect, you should protect that energy and that experience. So whatever you see in them people's house, you should maintain some discretion about. Okay, I'm not saying that, like if you want to say something about it, if you ain't got something nice to say, don't say nothing at all, right? But to walk around those people's house, to sit at that table and eat their food and smile and laugh, and I'm sure you hugged at least one family member, that's kind of snake-like. That's like a snake to me. And he called the experience weird. No, man, I think he's weird for saying that. I don't know what it is. I guess I do know what it is, but although I'd say I don't know what it is about Wilson that people, men specifically, why it is that they want to undermine him so much. Why does this man get so much hate? All the man do is, love on his family and work, and mind his own business. I don't see anything wrong with that. But a lot of these dudes come off as salty. They come off as haters, and there's a word for this. My girl was telling me earlier when I was talking about this, and she was saying, yeah, there's a phrase for that, and it's called monitoring spirits. Monitoring spirits. When she said the phrase, it's, I know what monitoring is and I know what spirits are, right? So I had an idea about what she was talking about, but she broke it down to me. And she told me that basically monitoring spirits is a concept within certain spiritual and religious beliefs. And it refers to demonic entities that allegedly spy on individuals to gather information for spiritual attacks. Adherents believe these spirits are sent to track a person's life and hinder their progress, sometimes using people or animals as agents, and can be countered through prayer and discernment. It can be countered through prayer and discernment. The term is not found in some major religious texts, but the concept is described as a type of spiritual obsession, while others maintain it is not a biblical idea. Monitoring spirits, in layman's terms, are just people who come around you and go back and tell what you got going on in hopes of undermining you in some way, in hopes of undermining your success, your lot in life in some manner. Monitoring spirits. Yeah. So all of us have probably at some point had somebody come into our home who we fed, who probably listened to our music, watched our television, drunk our drink, smoked our smoke, and then went back and told somebody something, reported it to somebody else in hopes of undermining you. Snake, man. You got to be careful of those monitoring spirits. You got to be careful who you let into your house. I had I had a construction worker come to my house once. So I had a general contractor that was doing some work at my house. And he brought his crew. I had been working with this guy for a long time. I had already been working with him for maybe a year or two, about close to 2 years. I'd already been working with him. One day, he brings a new guy over, and the guy comes into my house, but he don't speak. So I'm thinking, maybe he can't speak English or something. But even if he can't speak English, he know he walking into somebody's damn house, and he know he's seeing a face. It's a person right here in front of him. So at the very least, he know how to greet somebody, even if he didn't greet them in English. He know at the very least how to, if you can't wave, you know how to, hey, something. But he don't do anything. So I let it slide the first day because I wanted to see, was there some type of pathology there, right? So I give him a chance. I give him the rope to let him hang himself. The next day, he comes and he does the same thing. So I asked the contractor, I say, man, what's up on your buddy, man? What's up on him? Like he'd been in my house 2 days in a row and he haven't spoken to me. And he said, oh, no. He okay. He okay. I said, can he speak English? He said, yeah. He said, yeah, he can speak English. I said, well, listen, man, send him home. He was like, huh? I said, yeah, send him home. I say, he said, you want me to tell him to go home? I say, yeah, tell him to go home, get him out of my house. I say, I don't want him in my house another second. I don't like that type of negative energy around me, and I can't have that in my house. Get him out of my house right now. I don't want him in my house. He can go sit in the truck and he can wait out there for you as long as you need him to wait. But I need him out of my house. And I made him put him out of my house at that exact moment. Because you cannot have that in your home. You cannot invite evil into your home. You can do it mistakenly. You can do it inadvertently, but you cannot do it purposely. And so once you find out somebody has that demonic spirit, you have to exorcise it. You got to get them out. You got to get them out of your house because they will bring your spirit down and they will cover your house. They will cloak your house in evil. It's like an evil spirit in your house. You got to get rid of them. My house is a house of love. And I like people to come to my house. I like to always feel comfortable in my own house. And when somebody come around me, if somebody comes into my house, I want them to feel safe in my house. I don't want anybody to ever come to my house and feel intimidated. I don't want them to feel like some harm can come to them. When they come to my house, I want people to feel peace, like you're in a sanctuary, like you're protected when you come into my house. So if I have a party or a gathering, people that come to my house ain't got to worry about somebody looking upside their head and wanting to fight them or hurt them in some type, harm them. I don't have that type of energy. And so if I spot it, I immediately eliminate it. I would get rid of it immediately. So I pick my friends very carefully. I pick people who I will allow into my home very carefully. And for me, it really only takes one time. Depending on what's going on, I might give somebody the benefit of doubt or something, but you teach people how to treat you. So if somebody get out of pocket and do something wrong the first time, I might let them know what's going on. And if I sense that they're resistant to that information, they got to go. I don't play with it at all. They got to go. I had a party at my house years ago. It's back in the 90s. I had my whole family over, and my uncle was on one. He was cussing for no reason. Ain't nobody beating him up. Ain't nobody stole nothing from him. Nobody called him any names or nothing. And ain't nobody around doing anything out of line. He just cussing. So I tell him, I say, man, hey, calm down. You got women and kids around here, So he already gave me a weird look when I checked him. So he stopped and then he started up again. We was outside. We was at my house playing basketball. So I stopped him right there. I said, yo, you got to go. You got to get out. So he was like, what you mean, man, my ride right here, man. My ride ain't ready to go. I say, man, get off my property. You got to go. Get off my property. And I said, I don't care where you go. You got to get off my property. And I said, get off my property right now. And I was this close. Man, from making contact. So he understood it, and he went on and started walking down the street. And, one of my cousins, the cousin or whoever he was riding with, scooped him up and took him on home. And he came back, but the cousin who took him came back. But I couldn't have that. I'm not going to have one person messing up the energy for everybody. I'd rather get rid of that one person. That one person to me is not important enough. And I'm talking about that one person who is disrespectful. One disrespectful person is not important enough to me to sacrifice the comfort of others. No, they're not important enough to sacrifice the comfort of everybody else, including myself. Because first and foremost, you did it to yourself. If you don't have enough respect when you come to my house to act like a damn civilized human being, then now I don't have no respect for you. Get out. Go. Get to stepping. You got to go. Yeah, I don't play that at all. Now, me and Unc, we good now. We good. Time has passed, and and I guess everybody kind of mellowed a little bit, but we good now. But back then, I just had to put my foot down and let them know, man, I don't get out like that. We don't do that. So that was that. So I'm saying this, I really want to talk to y'all about this, family, because a lot of us have monitoring spirits around us. We have people who we share our dreams and our goals and our aspirations with. We should not be sharing our dreams and our goals and our aspirations with those people, because their only job is to undermine us. If you tell them your dream, what you are trying to achieve, they may try to talk you out of it. Some of us are in relationships with people who don't want us to succeed. That's right, I said it. I went on and said it. Some of us are in relationships with people who mean us no good. They do not even really like us. They're only with us because of what we provide to them. And I'm going to tell you something, family. That right there holds a lot of people back. That spouse who tells you, what you going back to school for? I can understand if he give you some, or she give you some concrete information on why school may not be necessary for you to achieve the goal that you want or whatever. But sometimes people just want to go back to school for self-gratification. They just want to, it ain't really about showing off to other people. It ain't really about getting more money, going to work to get more money. Sometimes people just want to complete a task. They just want to achieve a goal, a lifelong goal, something that they said they wanted to do. And they just want to prove to themselves that they can do it. So sometimes they just want to do it, they just want to go back. And when you have a spouse like that, man, you got to support her. You got to go ahead on and say, you know what, even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if you don't understand it, you got to go ahead on and let them do that. Some of us, you might have a spouse who wants to open their own restaurant. Restaurant business is very difficult. The restaurant business is extremely difficult. It's one of the hardest businesses to make successful. And next to clubs, it is a very difficult business. And some of us have spouses who can cook really, really good, and they want their own restaurant. They want that restaurant. It's expensive too. They want the restaurant. What you don't want to do in life is have regrets for something that you could have done. When it's time for me to go and I ain't got no more, if I have any regrets in life, I want it to be for things that I did do, as opposed to something I wanted to do but didn't do because I felt that I couldn't get it done, or I was afraid. I was afraid of what somebody might say. I was afraid of failure. No, that ain't me. If I want to do it and I think I can do it, I'm going to give it a shot. I am going to give it a shot. At least when I get down to the end, I ain't going to be that dude saying, whoa, man, I should have done this. If it's in my power to do it, I'm going to try to do it. If I really want to do it, if it's in my power to do it, I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not no fool. I can't dunk a basketball. I used to be able to dunk, but the knees don't work like they used to work. So I can't dunk a basketball anymore. And I don't really have any passion. I don't have any desire to dunk a basketball anymore. But when I was a youngster, I really wanted to dunk. And, when I finally started dunking the basketball, it felt really, really good. Anybody that ever dunked the basketball, y'all know what I'm talking about. It feels good to get up in the air like, bam, Yeah, that feels good, man. It's a damn good feeling. So, within reason, if I think I can do it, I will do it. I will do it within reason, right? I will do it. But you're going to have a whole lot of people who are going to get to the end who could have done something, it was in their power actually to pursue that thing. And they didn't do it because they was afraid of failure. They didn't do it because they didn't want to put the work in. So they couldn't have wanted it that bad if they didn't do it because they didn't want to put the work in, right? So if you already know that it's difficult for you to pursue a certain goal, it's difficult to pursue certain goals, Do not project. If you know that you already are not pursuing your thing, don't be projecting and doing that same thing and planting that seed in your children, planting that seed in your significant other. Your husband, your wife, don't do that. Support them. Let them do it. And at least if they do it, and root them on. Don't be hoping they fail. Root them on. And if they get there and they do it and they maintain some success, and that success is sustainable, then salute them and help them and help them too. Don't just let them go out there and try to do it. You help where you can help. And if they make it, great. All glory be to God. Y'all just did something special. And you being in his corner or you being in her corner is going to be one of the biggest lifts that they're going to need to get there. Your spouse, your significant other, is like one of the most powerful resources that you have. And if that person works with you, man, it's a wrap. Y'all can do a whole lot together. But a house divided cannot stand. So go for it. Let them go for it and help them. And if they do fail, at the very least, they know now, I tried. I tried. And nothing beats a failure but a try. I tried. I did it. I went out there and actually did it, and did it for a minute. Didn't work out, but at least I know I did it. I tried. I did it. I went for it. Got it out my system. And see also what this does for your relationship is it does not invite resentment. Because if you hold your significant other back, if you don't support them, they're going to remember that shit. They're going to resent it. They're going to always resent you for that. Yeah. Believe that. But this guy, these monitoring spirits, people coming around you, looking at your house. They counting the money. Like, ooh, that look expensive. How much that cost? Ooh, they doing good over here. And then go back and tell somebody else. You tell somebody you about to open a club. You finna open a club. And next thing you know, you trying to find a building. And you tell them, yeah, man, I'm thinking about this building over here on such and such street. Now they calling to see if they can get the building first. They try to put a contract on it. They calling another friend saying, man, you was trying to get that club, huh? Yeah, well, look, man, they got a building right over here. People do that, man. It's people out there, it's uncivilized mutts out there that play that game. This dude was way out of pocket. He's way out of pocket for that. Way out of pocket. I do not get it, though. I don't know these people. I don't know. I met Sierra once, way when she first started. I think we may have been. I know it was some type of conference. It was some type of music conference, and we were at the hotel. But I don't know Russell, but I can say that from the outside looking in, they seem to be happy. And I'm sure they have their own trials. I'm sure, like everybody, they have their own little hangups or whatever. Ain't nobody perfect. But, why would I try to do anything to try to, why would I try to run interference on their relationship at all? Like, why would I come around these people and try to pick them apart? Like, it must be something wrong with me to do something like that. It's got to be something wrong with me. These people are on social media, but they're not like on social media. They're not getting caught up in all of the, the drama. They're not on social media screaming for attention and begging and all thirsty and they're not doing any of that. Man, let them people live, man. And Russ and Sierra, y'all be more discerning about the people that y'all around. And I'm sure y'all are. And y'all probably vetted that dude and thought he was okay. Sometimes, he probably, Russell probably ain't been around dude enough. He just thought he was, a brother, in the same field of work, a young brother. And he probably wanted to bring him around him and, and tutor him in some type of way, show him some love. And this dude, this how he repay him. This is the way he repaid. You know how much gain he can get from somebody like Russell Wilson? You know how much information and instructions a young quarterback can get from Russell Wilson? This man let you inside of his house and you crossed him out. You out here talking about this man's wife, his children, his sister, his mama. I don't get these new dudes. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I do not get it. I also don't get these uncivilized mutts who just can't accept rejection. I do not get the uncivilized mutts who can't accept rejection. Beauty influencer Stephanie Piper is dead at 31, allegedly strangled and dumped in a forest by her ex. Yeah, fam. Yeah. So Stephanie was an influencer from Austria, and she's reportedly been found dead in a forest in Slovenia after an ex-boyfriend allegedly confessed to killing her. Australia's largest newspaper reports that Stephanie's body was uncovered after investigators claimed her ex admitted to strangling her and took investigators to where he'd hidden the body. The man has reportedly been extradited from Slovenia back to Austria, and his brother and stepfather have also been arrested. So Stephanie was last seen Sunday at a holiday party, and friends and colleagues alerted the police when she didn't show up to a modeling shoot. Police arrested Stephanie's alleged killer Monday after they found him near his burning vehicle. Border crossing data reportedly shows he made multiple trips between Austria and Slovenia in recent days. So once again, we have an emotionally bankrupt man who cannot accept rejection, who cannot accept the rules of relationships. What are the rules? There's really only one. There's several rules. I'll put it like that. There's several rules, but one of the biggest rules is we don't own each other. One of the biggest rules is these relationships might work, they might not. You might go all the way. You most likely won't go all the way. And once you realize that piece, you'll be all right. Every single relationship you go into the relationship with the idea that you're going to go all the way, right? You go into the relationship with the idea that we're going to try to run this thing. We're going to try to run it all the way. But you also go into it with the realization that there's a chance it might not work. Anybody going into a relationship and not having that understanding, they're ill prepared to be in a relationship. And most people that are in relationships are not prepared to be in relationships. Yeah, most people are really not prepared to be in relationships and should not be in relationships. So, you know, I'm starting to believe that excess social media awareness has consequences. And I'm not just saying that because she's an influencer, but I am kind of saying that because she is an influencer. But, this goes beyond just being an influencer, because this was happening well before social media. But now that we have social media, I think it's harder for people. A lot of people, I think it's harder for them to move on. I think it's harder for a lot of people to move on. They find it more difficult because you can't really avoid a popular person now. If you used to date a popular person, you might be able to avoid that person if you wasn't listening to the radio. You might be, or if they haven't had a hit record out in a while. If they haven't had a hit record out in a while, you can avoid them. If they haven't had a hit movie out in a while, you can avoid them. But social media, that person is constantly trending. If they're on social media, they're constantly trending. You cannot avoid them. Like, you can't avoid me. Nobody can avoid Willie D on the internet. I'm everywhere. I got 2 podcasts and multiple social media accounts. So even if you don't like me, you're going to see me. You can't miss me. I'm everywhere. So imagine someone who is in a relationship or was in a relationship with a popular person who's trending every day. And they keep popping up. And don't mess around and let them get into the profile and they see that you got somebody else, or they see you showing off a little bit more, because that's a thing too. That's a thing. When people leave relationships, a lot of times they I'm talking about specifically women, not picking on y'all women, but y'all do tend to let people know you're liberated. When you get out of a relationship, you kind of let people know, okay, I'm back. So y'all might have a little something provocative on, might go ahead on and show that swimsuit picture, that workout video, you've been holding on to. You might, you start putting up the glam shots and you letting them know, and then you take off you start deleting them pictures of the ex-boyfriend and not buddy coming, because all y'all women be getting them DMs already anyway. Y'all be getting the DMs. So now you letting them know, hey, and he knows. He said, oh, okay. And then he mess around and read them comments, and these dudes is in the comments flirting and all that kind of stuff. But it'll drive a weak mind crazy. A dude with a weak mind, it'll drive him crazy. He could be in there looking at them comments. Then you got on something sexy and he can't touch it. He can't touch you anymore. Oh man, dude, they be fuming. So if a dude got a weak mind, he's not going to be able to deal with it. He won't be able to deal with it. And so he really can deal with it, even with a weak mind. And I'm going to tell you how. Let me tell you how to deal with it. Men, if you got a weak mind, I'm going to tell you how to deal with this if a woman don't want to be with you anymore. Let me tell you how to deal with this, how to salvage your reputation, salvage your family name, so that you don't go out and go crash out and do something stupid and have your family name tainted forever. Let me tell you how to do it. If your mind is weak, just understand this. Time is going to handle all of that. All you got to do is keep waking up and working. Now, I ain't saying just sit around and let time tick, because if your time is ticking and you just obsessed and just all you thinking about is her, you ain't gonna get over. You got to get your ass up and get off that couch and get out there and go do something. Go do something productive. Do something you're passionate about. Do something that you look forward to achieving a goal in. Like do something creative, something productive, something that gives you a sense of purpose. And right there, from there, just keep on doing it, keep doing it, keep going, keep doing it. And you're going to eventually attract a woman that like that work ethic. And if also, if you got a good attitude and all that kind of stuff, that works too. But yeah, just keep moving forward, man. Success is the best revenge. Success. Killing myself ain't the best damn revenge for a woman that don't want to be with me. Killing that woman is not the best revenge for a woman that don't want to be with me. If I want revenge, that ain't the best way for me to get revenge on her is to kill her. That don't make sense to me. Because if I kill her, now I go to prison. So now I'm victimized twice. I done been victimized, now I done victimized myself. That don't make sense to me. That makes zero sense to me. Zero. And why would I want to be with somebody that don't want to be with me? That's weak. That means that you don't think much of yourself. Yeah, okay, she don't want to be with me. I really want to be with her. She don't want to be with me. My mind now has to be trained. I gotta get my mind to say, you know what? I'm gonna do my thing, like, yeah, she gonna regret she ever left me. I'm finna go out here and be great. And if you really all of that like you think you are, she is gonna regret it. She will regret it. You go out there and achieve what you're trying to achieve, she will regret it. Go out there and keep going doing you, she will regret it. Because quite frankly, there ain't a lot of people out there who's going to love you unconditionally. There ain't a lot of people out there that you're going to get into a relationship with who's really, really, really going to adore you. They may be with you. They may love you. They ain't going to love you. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to really just adore you. It's a different type of thing right there when they adore you. And you do not hurt that which you love. And I'll give you an example. I'm finna prove it to you. Some of us love our car. Somebody get in your car, slam that car door, man. Hey, don't slam my damn car door. You know what I'm saying? Hey, pick that up, man. You can't eat my car. Keep our cars clean, real clean. Hey, we value it. We ain't not gonna hurt that car. Some of us love our clothes. We take care of those clothes. Somebody step on them white tennis shoes. We say, man, watch where you going, man. Ooh, that's gonna be a problem. Some of you ladies, y'all got purses and shoes. Y'all keep them shoes and purses in bags and make sure no dust get on them and keep them all neat back. Y'all, that's my stuff. Don't mess with my stuff. I love my stuff. Mess with it. You do not hurt. We as human beings don't hurt the people we love. We hurt the people we should love. So a lot of times you see people hurting people in relationships. They really don't love those people. I don't care what y'all say. That's not love. It might be lust. It might be obsession, but it ain't love. Because you do not love that. You do not hate. You do not hurt that which you love. This fool done killed this woman, and now his life is over. See, this happens a lot in life also. Oftentimes in life, somebody hurt us, and trying to get revenge, we'll end up hurting ourselves even worse. Even if we don't go out and hurt them and hurt ourselves by committing suicide or ending up in prison or something like that, we'll hurt ourselves by drinking too much or smoking or shooting up or popping pills. All of that, you hurt yourself even more. And then when you hurt yourself even more, you start going to the gutter. After this person that left you, you start going to the gutter. All you do now is justify their reason for leaving you in the first place. Because perhaps they saw something in you that was weak already. That's why they didn't want to be with you. Perhaps, just perhaps. So, I ain't gonna lie now. I might take a drink. I might have to have a drink. You leave me now, baby. Don't leave me, baby. Don't just leave me like that, baby. So I might have to take a drink, but I ain't gonna be drinking out of something this big though. Unless it's tea. I'll drink some tea, and I ain't gonna be hitting it like that. I drink a little sip something, take a little sip something, like a couple of days max, man, you know what I'm saying? Just to get my mind off of it or whatever. And then I'm back. Y'all heard that song by Mystical? Keep bumping me against the flow. I'ma come back for more till you see me. Trust me, you ain't seen bouncing back. Something like that. My bad, Mystical, for not knowing the words. I should know the words. You the homie. But that bounce back song, Mystical was talking about me, man. He was talking about me. Yeah. Till you see me, trust me, you ain't seen bouncing back. So that's how I rock, fam. You're like, my love for me is greater than my love for anybody else. And I think you gotta love yourself before you can love anybody else. You gotta love yourself. Some of us are parents and we experience hurt. And sometimes the hurt, the effects of that, the impact of that hurt is so debilitating that, it's hard for us to do our work as a parent. And now it's affecting our children. And what we're doing is passing our trauma over to them, and we're teaching them how to deal with crisis situations. And we're teaching them all wrong. So when these type of things happen to us, we got to know that we're being watched. And so once again, your actions have to be consistent with the outcome that you want. If you want your kids to have the proper tools to deal with letdowns and rejection and disappointments, crisis, then you have to lead by example. When you break up with someone, you don't cuss and yell and and do all that in front of the kids and all that kind of stuff. Now, you might cuss them, but you ain't got to cuss them directly. That ain't even healthy. You know, because the more y'all tear each other down, the more resentment, it's going to be harder to get past it. So if you want to say something bad about her, you just be like, yeah, that mother. Say it out loud and go in the mirror and practice. You dirty mother, that mother. Then when they call you, be like, hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, okay. Oh, fuck. You know what I'm saying, fam? You got to do it like that, man. You know, like, don't give people ammunition to come back at you, to use against you. Don't give them that ammunition. Some of us get so caught up, we get so emotional that we're arguing in front of the kids and we breaking down and we crying and we all that stuff. And our children gonna do the exact same thing. So do you really care about the kids like you say you do? Because raising children is the most important job you'll ever have. You're raising human beings. Raising human beings is the most difficult job you'll ever have in life. So there ain't no necessarily, that's not a manuscript for it, but you can start off by just, doing what you think, what is best, right? And operating out of love. You operate out of love, it's hard to go wrong. If you operate out of love, it's hard to go wrong. If you really love the kids like you say you do, you wouldn't be doing all that cussing and showing off and acting a fool and saying bad things about their mother or saying bad things about their father in front of them. I ain't saying you can't say bad things about them, but do not say that stuff in front of the kids, because now you're going to make their life difficult and they're going to be traumatized. Yeah. And they're going to be sitting on a couch, telling some stranger all of their business. So, yeah. So this is one more sad situation where you got a simp that went out bad, went out bad, killed his woman because he couldn't have her. And again, fam, like I said, oftentimes when God closes one door, he opens another anyway. So I don't even, if you got her, you can get another one. You can get another one just like her. You can get another one better than her, better looking than her, with smarter than her, with a better attitude, better personality. You can get all of that, but you got to be patient. And you can get one that works for you. You can find the one that actually works for you. So if you love yourself like you say you love yourself, you absolutely would not crash out on somebody who do not want to be with you. You would not crash out. You take it on the chin. Greater men than me and you have had to walk this long green mile. Greater men than you and I have had to walk this green mile. We had to face the consequences, and we survived. You can too. R.I.P. Stephanie Piper. Cold-blooded, fam. Cold-blooded. Pfizer. Let's talk about Pfizer. Pfizer is being put on blast for being around 176 years and having 0 cures. That is absolutely astonishing. Pfizer perfected the business of managing disease, not eliminating it. Yeah. They perfected the business of managing disease, not eliminating it. And, Pfizer is not by itself, but they're the ones who just got called out. So we're going to talk about Pfizer. See, fam, cures don't create customers. treatment do? Treatment creates customers, not cures. Ask yourself, how is it that a company could be around, a company that's supposed to, provide help? I won't say they're supposed to provide cures because they don't say they provide cures. So I'm going to say they're supposed to provide help for your illness. Well, they do provide medicine, but you can't come up with a cure. You got the biggest and the baddest, greatest thinkers, most educated people coming into your system. You got an incubator for such thing. And you haven't cured one thing in 176 years. Pfizer has made billions of dollars, hundreds of billions, treating symptoms, managing conditions, preventing infections, but never actually curing anything. Now, y'all let that sink in. Let it sink in. From cholesterol pills to pain management to vaccines that manage risk, the goal has never been healing. It's lifetime consumption. And when a real cure appears, they buy it, bury it, or brand it as ongoing therapy. God. Woo, fam, we in trouble. We are in trouble. Family, when a real cure appears, they buy it, bury it, and brand it as ongoing therapy. You know why? Because one cure equals one payment. One patient for life equals infinite revenue. Let that sink in. Ooh-wee, man. Wow. Old Pfizer. Pfizer and the COVID vaccine. Pfizer was ready. Pfizer was getting that money, man. Pfizer was getting that money. Again, they wasn't the only ones, but they're the ones who was called out this round. Let me get this woman off the screen. So Pfizer was Pfizer was called out, and they have yet to respond. Y'all think they'll respond? What y'all think, family? I don't think they'll respond because they have a system and they know it works. And, there are people who just want the medicine, and they have resolved to believe in that these people are helping them. So I don't see Pfizer doing anything progressive. I don't see that happening. Let me pull this up right quick. What I want to know is, fam, I want to know who took the jab. Who took it? Give me a thumbs up if you took it, fam. Give me a thumbs up if you took the jab. Give me a thumbs up if you took the jab, fam. Thumbs up if you took the jab. Thumbs down if you did not take the jab. Thumbs down if you did not take the jab. Thumbs up if you took the jab. Thumbs down if you did not take the jab. And which one did you take? If you took it, which one did you take? OG say down, Damon down, Amazing Love, Connie Hodge down. Most of y'all look like y'all did not take the jab. Good answer, good answer. But Pfizer has some explaining to do. They got some explaining to do. Yeah. From cholesterol pills to pain management, to vaccines that manage risk. The goal has never been healing, fam. It's lifetime consumption. And when a real cure appears, they buy it, bury it, and brand it as ongoing therapy. Because one cure equals one payment. One patient for life equals infinite revenue. Think about that the next time you say it's for your health. Think about that the next time they say it's for your health. Somebody said that they could cure Hep C, but you can get it again. If you can get it again, it was never cured. All they did was suppress it. You got to learn the difference. And if you get it too many times, your insurance is going to stop the $30K bill. You know, the insurance is going to go to it, is going to stop. You know, you're going to get a $30K bill. That's how they do, fam. Think about insurance, the way the insurance is even designed. Insurance is designed to make money. So they gotta take in more than they give back. So most of us who pay these insurance premiums, we're paying the insurance premiums. They're getting all the dough. And as long as we can stay under what we're paying them, they're coming out on top. The moment we go over what we're putting in, they're going to cancel us, or they're looking for ways to cancel or not pay. That's the game. Think about it, fam. Look, think about these. Think about when you go to, let's say, Best Buy. Let's say you go to Best Buy. Let's say you go to anywhere that offers a warranty, right? They're going to offer you, typically you get a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. You get a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. 1 year. They are 99% sure, at least 95% sure that you're not going to use that warranty. You're not going to need that warranty within a year. they're pretty sure that their product is going to hold up for a year. But after that year, or 2 years, let's say 3 years, right? But let me back up. They're pretty sure that their product is going to hold up for 2 or 3 years, sometimes 5 years. They're pretty sure it's going to hold up for that amount of time. So they offer you the manufacturer's warranty because they know, they got to offer some type of warranty, right? So they're going to offer you the manufacturer's warranty, which you're going to fly right through. And then they're going to offer you another 2 or 3 year warranty, which you're not going to really need. The product typically holds up. They're banking on the odds that the product is going to hold up for that time that you're under warranty. And then as soon as your warranty expires, that's when the product starts defecting. That's when you're going to need a new product. You're going to need service. And then you're going to come to them and you're going to pay them for service. The game is rigged like the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball. All of it is rigged. They're going to give you the free manufacturer's warranty for a year. They're going to sell you a 2 to 3 year warranty, which you're not going to need. In most cases, you're not going to need. And then that's it. So I'm not going to tell y'all what to do, but I don't buy extended warranties. I don't buy extended warranties. The only way that I would buy an extended warranty is if it was for a vehicle, like a certified vehicle, a certified used vehicle. That's the only way I would buy an extended warranty. I buy new cars, so I don't even need warranties, extended warranties, because I'm not going to be in the car long. I'm in and out of cars, and the most I'll keep a car is probably 3 years. So I'm out of the car well before the warranty expires anyway. So I'm not going to need it. So I don't buy any of that extra stuff. When you go, I'm finna tell y'all, I'm finna give y'all some game. I mean, game. I'm about to give you some game. Watch this. I also do not buy all of that extra stuff after you buy a car and you go into that little finance room. I know some of y'all finance managers saying, shut your ass up, Willie D. Shut up. Don't tell him, man. Don't tell him. No, I got to tell him, man. I got to tell him. When you go into that room and they're trying to sell you all of those extended warranties. When you're talking to the finance so basically what happens is you go in to try to buy a car. You want to buy a car. And this is for the people that are not buying cash cars. But let's say you want to buy a car. And so now you get the price together. First, you get with your sales guy. And then y'all agree, you tell them what you're willing to pay. You tell them what you want your notes to be and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Then he take the paperwork. Then he go take it over to the finance guy. Let the finance guy work the numbers and he can say, yeah, we can do that. Well, hold on, let's see if we can get you approved. Okay, they find somebody to finance your vehicle. Okay, cool. This is what we got. That's if you don't walk in with your own finance company. But typically they'll come back and say, okay, we got such Bank of America going to finance your vehicle for 6 years and this, that, and this is what it is. These are the numbers. This is the amount. This is your final cost. And then, once you agree to that with your sales guy, he goes, okay, good. Okay, we good. We got it. Deal. Thank you. So from there, now the car is yours now. But here's where they get you. This is where you start really getting your head knocked off. You go into that finance room. This is the Shark Tank. The finance room, the finance office is the Shark Tank of auto dealerships. The finance officer is the biggest shark at the dealership. The finance officer job, the way he gets paid good too for those bonuses, is to sell you an entire list of things that you will not need. He's going to try to hit you extended warranty on your tires, your windows, dents. He's going to try to hit you for, just everything. The damn list just goes, it's like a whole list of things. And let's say you might be at, before you walk in there, you might be at 50,000. By the time you walk out, man, you at $60,000 or 65,000, something for a whole bunch of stuff you ain't never gonna use. You're never gonna need it. So if you think about it, it makes sense that they're offering all this stuff to you. Now, the goal is to offer this stuff to you as a protection. We're helping to protect your investment. We're going to protect you, right? No, the goal is to get as much money out of you as possible. So sell you a bunch of products and services that you most likely never going to need. And when you get to that point, by the time you get to that point, you so happy and you thinking, yeah, I'm gonna need it, because they're designed to make you think you need all this stuff. Yeah, what if this happened? Yeah, what if that happened? Yeah, I better get that. What if that happened? Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I need some protection. I'm gonna need some protection for this. I'm gonna need protection for this. Most of your stuff is covered already under manufacturer's warranty. You ain't gonna need nothing besides that. And if you do need any of those other services, you can go to an aftermarket place and get that stuff for a fraction of the cost. If any one of those items on there ever pop up that you need, you can go to an aftermarket place and get the same thing for a fraction of the cost. Or you can go to the dealership and get that one thing done as a one-off instead of buying all those other items that they got listed. And that's where they hit you. That's where they knock your head off. So well, let me say, I'm not going to say don't, because one of y'all might don't, and then you're going to need something, then something happens. But I'm just going to tell you how I get down. I do not buy all of that extra stuff, and I never need all of that extra stuff. And if I do need anything, let's say I get a dent in my car. I get a dent. Okay, most dents can be popped out. So why am I giving these people $2,500 for dent protection? You know, and a dent can be popped out for $25. Hell, if you got the right tools, sometimes you can pop a dent out on your own. Most of these cars are made of fiberglass and plastic anyway. You just go up under that thing and pop that thing out, and boom, you back to riding. So yeah, I don't do all of that extra, buying all that extra stuff, man. It's not necessary. If you buy a computer, that computer is, if that computer gets you past the first year, if it gets you past the first year, it'll probably get you past the third year. So why are you buying a 2-year warranty? You don't need it. In most cases, you're not going to need it. So let's say I do need it. If something is wrong with your computer, they're not going to replace the whole computer anyway. If something is wrong with your computer, they're not going to replace the whole computer anyway. They're only going to replace a part. And the part probably would end up being less than the cost of the warranty. And even if it wasn't less than the cost of the warranty, let's say it was double the price of the warranty, they're still winning because most people are not using their warranty. Most people will never use their warranty. So they're still way up. This is why they sell the warranties. Even when you look at insurance, period, most people, if you look at car insurance, most people are never going to use, most people are never going to get nowhere near the amount of money that they put into the system. They're not going to need that money. There are people that have been driving for 30 years, 40 years, they never had an accident, and they pay their insurance faithfully on multiple cars. They've paid tens of thousands of dollars into the system, and they still haven't needed any to use it. And when they do finally use it, it'll probably be something minor. Most car accidents are minor accidents. Most car accidents are fender benders. Let's say every now and then they got to pay out a total. Okay, cool. Still, they got still half of the people that's paying into the insurance program still never needing to use it. Even if only 20% of people or 30% didn't need to use it, that's still money. They still coming out on top. So I'm not surprised by this Pfizer thing. It's not a revelation. Most people kind of know how they get down, but yeah, they're not the only ones who have not come up with a cure. This is what they do. The money is in the medicine. What's up, Vicky? China Carter, what up? Antoinette, Nikki Marks, Josh Gotti, what up? Then Almighty, Pure MI. I am Leah. I am a Leah K. You say, I bought my BMW for 10 bands, paid it off in 4 payments, altogether 12,000. Damn, that's a lot of, he paid it off in 4 payments? That's a lot of interest, $2,000 in interest. And you paid it off in 4 payments? That's a lot of interest. Mook Doggum. What's up, Mook? Dr. Yaki. Shout out to Dr. Yaki. That's my guy. Priscilla, what's up? Marlon Reed. What it do, Marlon Reed? Herman Trotter. LT. What up, LT? Real talk. Yolanda Green. What's up, Yolanda? Yeah, I see a lot of people saying that they didn't wish they hadn't taken the jab. Fam, we gotta get past the mind thing, like the mind F, right? We gotta understand this. We don't have to do a whole lot of research. The research is already there. We've already done the research. We lived it. That's the greatest research you can have, is the living experience. We gotta stop, like, really just, gotta stop believing and trusting these people. They already showed us who they are. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me that you got to go through all of these years of clinical trials to approve something, and next thing you know, because we're in this epidemic now, all of a sudden we came up with something that could fix everything. Man, people are dying, still dying right now. We thinking people dying because they just happen to have a stroke. Man, there's people in their 20s dying, teenagers dying of strokes, heart attacks. You got people that are otherwise perfectly healthy, never had any medical issues. All of a sudden, they just dropping dead, left and right. Come on, fam, we know what that is. We know what it is. The one common thing that they all had was, they took that jab. Different ages, different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions, same icon. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Dr. Price, but I'll check it out and see what he's talking about. Yeah. It's a cold game, fam. How are you around? Hell, if I was around, I ain't even gotta be in the pharmaceutical industry. Let me live to be 176 years old. I'm gonna invent something. I'm gonna cure something. Yeah, I'm curing something. I'm gonna cure something. They're gonna be like, man, Willie D came up with a cure for haterism, man. Yeah. He came up with a cure. My cure gonna be simple though. Now I ain't gonna say nothing else because just somebody might be stealing it. You got those monitoring spirits out there. They try to steal my idea. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Okay, no more talk.